Right now, a closer look at new data from the CDC as attempts to steer kids away from smoking may have led them to some different dangers.
And OSHA says a Sun Prairie contractor put its workers in danger. We'll outline the accusations against GL Construction.
And scam complaints, for the most part, are falling in the U.S., but there is one kind that's on the rise. See how job scams work. You're watching News 3 now at 5. And we begin with an update to a string of 3 fires that took place in downtown Madison Wednesday morning.
Our Armand Rahman joins us. And Armand, police are saying that these 3 fires are connected, right?
That's right, Meryl and Eric. And a person of interest in the investigation is in custody. So far, they have not been charged. This is a look at pictures Madison police provided of the person of interest. Arson detectives were looking for them after discovering a dumpster had been intentionally set on fire Wednesday morning in the area of West Johnson Street and State Street. This is now part of a broader investigation into 2 other fires, including one that displaced 6 students and caused about $500,000 in damages. All 3 fires happened within an hour of each other. No one was injured. Madison fire officials thank the public for helping police find the person of interest. The investigation is ongoing.
Armand, thank you. Smoking is the leading cause of preventable death in the U.S. And to try to quit, many switch to e-cigarettes, but it's also hooked over 1 million young people nationwide. Our
Ellie Laliberte joins us now with the latest data from the CDC.
E-cigarettes are the most commonly used tobacco products among middle and high schoolers, but new data from the CDC shows some numbers are trending downwards.
If you can sell someone an addictive substance and get them addicted, you'll have a customer for life. That's the tobacco industry playbook.
2% might not sound like a lot, but it actually breaks a record. Youth e-cigarette use is at the lowest level it's been in a decade. The reason for that, the CDC says it's partly education.
There's been a lot of efforts to basically do some education about what are these products? What do they look like? And then have conversations and educate parents to equip themselves to have those conversations.
This year, the CDC estimates that roughly 6% of middle and high school students use e-cigarettes. And the most common device, disposable vapes. According to Megan Piper, a UW director of research with the Center for Tobacco Research and Intervention, they are a big part of the problem.
They specifically marketed their products to children. They marketed them using sugar cereal flavors and packaging. They marketed them using all sorts of social media and other influencer campaigns.
Those products, she says, have heavy metals and other toxins. But there's another product growing in popularity. Nicotine pouches.
And while their use is still low, we have seen a slight uptick in the proportion of youth who are using those products. So we take every tobacco product that has the potential to addict young people seriously.
But there are ways to get help quitting. The Wisconsin Tobacco Quit Line is one example. Live Free Vape offers free texting coaching for 13 to 26-year-olds to help address nicotine addiction. Piper says quitting can look different for everyone.
And if you can't, that is not a sign of weakness. That is a sign of addiction. And that's what we have help for.
Now, while the CDC says this is a good sign, it also says it's still important to continue education. You can get more information at teen.smokefree.gov about how you can talk to young people about the dangers of these products.
Ellie, thank you. A Sun Prairie contractor is the subject of accusations from OSHA, saying GL Construction of Madison LLC is repeatedly putting workers in danger and not paying federal penalties. Previous OSHA findings stated employees were exposed to fall hazards. There was another incident in which an employee died after a wall fell on them. Earlier this year, OSHA issued 8 violations and tens of thousands of dollars in proposed penalties for infractions at a Verona site. OSHA says the company has not paid any federal penalties related to the citations, provided abatement information, or compiled with settlement terms. Out west, cooler weather is helping crews battling 3 major wildfires in Southern California to get an upper hand. As of midday, the state's largest wildfire, the Bridge Fire, is tearing through terrain about 75 miles east of Los Angeles. It's 0% contained and has burned at least 80 square miles. The fire damage lifts at a ski area and incinerated at least 40 homes and cabins in the mountain communities of Mount Baldy and Wrightwood.
My neighbor that lives across the street called and said, "Your house is fully engulfed." And what a loss. But it takes a couple days for something like that to hit you and you realize the magnitude of your loss.
The San Bernardino prosecutor has charged a 34-year-old man with 9 criminal counts, including arson in connection with the line fire that's burning about 65 miles east of Los Angeles. It's burned around 58 square miles and forced thousands of evacuations. It's around 18% contained.
Time now for a look at our first warn forecast. Chief Meteorologist Alex Harrington is out on the weather patio. Alex?
Eric, it's really quite nice out here in the patio. We got a bit of a breeze out here. Even though it's warm, that breeze helps just a bit. And believe it or not, we've been talking for the past couple of days, those fires that are happening way out west, it impacts our weather here in southern Wisconsin. Luckily, that smoke is not making its way down to the ground to impact air quality, but it is impacting our sky conditions, where you see the highest concentrations, the yellows and the oranges, more towards central Wisconsin. We were all under orange last night, and that's why we see those stunning sunrise and sunset photos. You can scan that QR code if you want to send yours, just like Bill did here to southern Wisconsin. That's what one impact is, and that's a pretty benign impact, those pretty sunrises and sunsets from the smoke. Temperatures in the middle 80s in Dane County right now. We had highs up around 86, still 88 over southwestern Wisconsin. Those temperatures will cool down tonight into the upper 50s and into the lower 60s. And then we turn our attention to water. Temperatures and water are the main parts of our weather forecast. Where is Francine going to go, and how many drops from Francine can we expect? I've got the details in a few moments.
All right, Alex, thanks. Former President Donald Trump has announced he will not debate Vice President Kamala Harris again following Tuesday night's meeting between the two in Philadelphia, saying on Truth Social today, quote, "There will be no third debate," end quote. You'll recall it was the first presidential debate between Trump and President Biden that eventually led to President Biden dropping out of the race, leading to Vice President Harris replacing him at the top of the ticket. Dane County Sheriff's Office has some new resources as part of the Reach a Child program.
Reach a Child has partnerships with hundreds of agencies around the state. The goal is to provide children on the scene of a crime, crash, or domestic incident with a distraction. To do that, Reach a Child gives sheriffs, deputies, police officers, EMTs, and fire departments reach bags, the contents of which they use to help the children on the scene.
So these backpacks have lots of brand new children's books, and the first responder can use those then to spend time with the child, to comfort the child, and maybe most importantly, distract the child from whatever the bad situation might be.
Each bag has 20 kids' books and several drawstring backpacks that go to kids in need. If you want to help the Reach a Child cause, you can donate at reachachild.org.
Jefferson County Administrator Ben Waymeyer announcing today he will leave office in mid-December after over 10 years in that role. He's leaving to become president and CEO of the Greater Watertown Community Health Foundation. He has served as county administrator since July of 2013. His assistant, Michael Lucky, takes over on an interim basis. The County Board Executive Committee will now begin the search for a permanent replacement.
And a live look now at State Street here in Madison and what is the second to last night market of the year. It began just a short while ago and runs till 9 p.m. You can find food, drinks, as well as a variety of different vendors. The final night market of the year will come on October 17th. And
Alex is back next. He'll have a complete look at our first warn forecast.
And the 2-year-old mystery behind a stolen portrait of Winston Churchill from a famous Canadian hotel has been solved. All up next.
And a check of Wall Street, the Dow climbing another 235 points today. NASDAQ gains 174. S&P today jumps almost 42. And we'll be right back.
You're watching News 3 Now, brought to you by Cardinal Heating and Air Conditioning.
Women need to pay close attention
to what Eric Hovde says about access to abortion.
Hovde's all in about opposing reproductive rights.
I am totally opposed to abortion.
And he wanted Roe overturned.
Do you think Roe versus Wade should be overturned?
Yes. So Eric Hovde is okay with politicians overruling decisions of doctors like me.
My patients worry about what Hovde will take away next.
A vote for Eric Hovde means we'll lose even more control over our lives.
Women Vote is responsible for the content of this ad.
If you're looking for a new fence or deck, we're running our 60-60-60 sale. You'll get a $60 Visa gift card plus either 60% off the installation or 60-month no interest financing on your fence or deck. Scan the code to see if you qualify.
No chemical additives, no artificial ingredients. We've made it this way for 5 generations.
Actually, Grandpa, it's more like 7 generations now, and we still make our roll sausage the very same way. pork, salt, and spices. That's it.
It's the same delicious flavor and simple quality ingredients that has made it a mainstay in breakfast tables for over 130 years.
Trust Jones for honest-to-goodness sausage.
Right now, we're running our 60-60-60 sale, so when you purchase your new concrete coating, you get a $60 Visa gift card plus either 60% off installation or 60-month no-interest financing. This is one of our best deals of the year, so visit our website or call the number for your new floor today.
Today, our retirement savings account is safe because we made the switch. We had Medicare Advantage, but we'd seen too many friends give up the things they love due to unexpected medical expenses. They thought their plan was good enough, but it didn't help when they needed it most. We found a better way with a Medicare supplement insurance plan from WPS. No worries, no hassles, no networks. Our time and our money are better spent here.
Democrats say everything's great, but when you're on a fixed income struggling to pay for gas, groceries, or medicine, it doesn't feel great.
Biden-Harris created this mess.
And Tammy Baldwin's been right there with them.
25 years in Washington. What's she done?
Raised taxes.
Added trillions in new debt.
And gave stimulus checks to illegals.
I'm Eric Hovde. I approve this message.
I'd like a stimulus check.
I'd like you to take out the trash.
Some UW branch campuses are closing and rural students are paying the price. We're uncovering how those closures could deepen the educational divide between rural and urban communities and the long-lasting impacts to come. That's tonight at 6.
Moving forward in your community, lending helping hands, spotlighting the people, telling the stories, warning you first. Your local news source for nearly 70 years. News 3 Now. Moving forward. You're watching News 3 Now at 5.
All right, welcome back. It's the 4th most common neurological disorder in the world. And now a Wisconsin teen is set to raise awareness of epilepsy with a 26-mile walk.
That's right. It'll take place this Saturday. Meet Annalise. She is a sophomore at Elkhorn Area High School. That's in Walworth County. And for the past 3 years, she has done this walk because 1 in 26 people will develop epilepsy throughout their lifetime. Most people with epilepsy live lives similar to those without the disorder. However, some people with frequent seizures may not be able to work or drive. Annalise remains active. She is also a cheerleader at Elkhorn Area High School.
Let's get a look at your first warn forecast. Chief Meteorologist Alex Harrington. What is it? How's it going?
It's going well right now here across southern Wisconsin, and overall weather over the course of the next 10 days will be kind of a repeat of itself. So if you like this dry and warm conditions, it's going to stick around for some time. You might be wondering, well, Francine, I thought Francine was going to bring some water north to Wisconsin, and Francine is still on the way towards the north over the mid-Mississippi Valley area near Memphis right now. And although Francine will be moving towards the north, unfortunately, and we could use some raindrops, we're not going to get a lot of raindrops from the remnants of Francine. Temperatures are another part of our weather story. When the air is dry, and that's part of the reason why Francine will struggle a bit. Our air is dry currently. We can cool down quite a bit at night. We got down into the low to mid 50s, which is still comfy for this time of year. And we made it all the way up into the middle 80s here. We were going to go for high of 86, and we got 86 today. Planning the evening tonight, I'm going to try to get a walk in here as I normally do between 7 and 8 o'clock. Temperatures right around 73 degrees. We'll have Jacob here tonight for the 10 o'clock newscast with temperatures also around 70 degrees. Low temperatures to start off our Thursday night, rather, going on into Friday, will be in the upper 50s to the lower 60s. So another mild one out there. Drought monitor just updated, folks, here. Last week, areas were yellow along the Wisconsin-Illinois border. That is now expanded. We thought it would across southern Wisconsin with the recent dry weather. And as we track Francine, we're going to get the clouds from Francine moving in as early as midnight tonight. So go into Friday and into Friday night, a couple of isolated showers eyeing up the Wisconsin River Valley out towards the Mississippi River. And that's likely where our weather models are pinpointing that the remnants of Francine and the water that may come out of the sky will likely focus over southwestern Wisconsin Saturday. Here we see that again Sunday, Grant County, Iowa, Lafayette, areas west of Madison standing that better chance of those showers with the clouds hanging around and that shower chance at least until Monday. little over optimistic, I think, 1/4 inch, maybe 1/2 inch at most in areas that see a couple of these showers over the course of the weekend, Saturday, Sunday, and then that should end on Monday. That's it. As I move out of the way here, the sun's coming back into the forecast, mostly sunny conditions by the middle of next week. The clouds build back in, but I've pushed that next rain chance all the way out to later Saturday and Sunday, days 9 and 10 in the forecast. Looks like we have an incident right now just on US 12 eastbound heading over towards the 39 exchange, so that's likely going to bring the speed limits down, so be prepared for that. We have 28-mile-per-hour speed limits on the southern part of the Beltline. Going down to Janesville, what do we got? Let's see. We're going at about 70, 75. That's what you would expect. And I suspect the same up towards the Dells at 72. And with this dry warmth, maybe you could still give your car AC a break and open up the windows and enjoy the nice, dry, warm weather.
Alex, thank you so much. For the first time in history, 2 private astronauts have successfully carried out a spacewalk. Billionaire entrepreneur Jared Isaacman, who is the commander of the Polaris Dawn mission, floated outside the SpaceX capsule early this morning. He was followed by mission specialist Sarah Gillis. Their goal is to test new SpaceX-designed spacesuits. The company expects to need hundreds, if not thousands, of affordable, easy-to-manufacture suits as part of its plan to send people to the moon and eventually Mars.
So what they did today was put those new spacesuits through their paces. They tested the motion, the mobility of the joints, how easy or difficult it was to move. And the engineers, of course, will take that information and plug that back into the continued development. So all in all, a great first step for SpaceX. Very impressive.
The Polaris Dawn mission is scheduled to splash down this weekend.
Well, after more than 2 years, the mystery behind the theft of a world-renowned portrait of Winston Churchill from an historic Canadian hotel has been solved.
The investigation to find the stolen portrait spanned the globe, and soon it will find its way back home to Ottawa. Judy Trin has the details on how a hotel's prized possession was lost and then found.
So where was it taken from?
In here.
Okay. In the reading room.
Yep.
Stolen nearly 3 years ago, this iconic portrait of Sir Winston Churchill by the renowned photographer Yusuf Karsh will soon be returned to the Chateau Laurier.
This is the best day of our life. We've been dreaming about this.
It was hanging on this side crooked on a wire, and those pictures are not hung on a wire.
Bruno Lair, a maintenance worker, discovered that the original photograph of the British Prime Minister, dubbed the Roaring Lion, had been replaced by a fake. The theft happened around January 2022 during COVID lockdowns and wasn't reported stolen until months later. Ottawa police initially considered Lair the prime suspect.
Well, because I found it and they thought it was an inside job. So basically, because I worked in maintenance, I knew how the picture was hung, because basically I hung the picture so I could undo it.
I never believed that he could be a suspect.
After a 2-year investigation that stretched from England to Italy and back to Northern Ontario, Ottawa police arrested a 43-year-old man in April.
We work very closely at different steps with the London Metropolitan Police and with the Carabinieri. The London Metropolitan Police were effectively our right hand in getting a lot of the information that was required about that we required to identify the subject.
The real suspect, a man from Powassan, Ontario, has been charged with theft, forgery, and art trafficking. His identity is under a publication ban. Police say the thief gave the Churchill portrait to a London auction house. It was sold to an Italian buyer. The auction house and the buyer didn't know it was stolen. After renovations are complete, it will hang once again on these walls, where Lair will watch over it again, no longer a suspect, but an unsung hero.
When it does come back, I'm rehanging it.
Oh my God, you get
dibs. Yep, I got dibs on it.
Ottawa Police and the general manager of the Chateau Laurier will travel to Rome next week for an official ceremony announcing the end of this successful investigation.
However, it will be a few more months before the portrait is shipped back to Ottawa.
You think they'll have a glass case of it like the Mona Lisa now?
Oh, they have to.
They're not going to allow that to leave the doors again, I don't think.
No,
that
certainly not.
That poor guy got accused of taking it.
I know.
Just because he's the one that hung it up.
I know.
Quite a story.
He'll love to get that back again.
Still had a look at the promise of a job not coming through. Could actually be a scam. How this type of scam is on the rise. That's next at 5.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
I'm Matt, and I'm a former Trump voter. One of my biggest beefs with Donald Trump is that with him, anybody who doesn't agree with him is a radical, is a lunatic, is a leftist, a Marxist, a communist, somebody out to destroy America. I'm going to vote for Kamala Harris because I don't want to live in a world that's all about hatred and retribution and getting even with your neighbors and getting rid of people who are different from me.
Republican Accountability PAC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Old windows? Compromise your home's comfort. Vinyl windows, a 1970s relic, aren't built for extreme weather. They warp and crack, becoming vulnerable to the elements. At Next Door & Window, we have the answer. Fiberglass. Our Ultrex fiberglass windows last up to 50 years, longer than any other window you can buy. And while other companies cut corners and never call you back, we've got your back. When you demand tomorrow's comfort, Next delivers. Visit nextwindow.com to learn more.
Welcome to Washington, D.C. You got a bunch of loudmouth, preening politicians. It's absolute chaos. I'm Derek Van Orden, and after 26 years as a Navy SEAL, there's a few things that I learned. You stay on mission, you know what you're fighting for, and sometimes you gotta get a little dirty to finish the job. Let's go, kids. Not you. Not you. You. Let's go. I'm Derek Van Orden, and I approve this message.
Dear road rivals, no truck on the road drives value like the Tundra. Day after day, mile after mile, it all adds up to big savings under the hood. What's under yours? Toyota Tundra.
Right now, lease a new Tundra for $479 a month or get 3.99% APR for 72 months on a new Tundra. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota. Let's go places.
I'm not old enough to vote yet, but I learned how 1 out of 6 of us will someday be raped.
So please, think about me when you vote. I learned how our freedom to have an abortion was taken away.
Even in cases of rape or incest.
Even to travel to get an abortion.
Please, think about me.
You know who got rid of Roe v. Wade.
Now women are being refused life-saving care at hospitals. And politicians are trying to ban birth control. Please, think about me. My parents call me their miracle daughter because I was born with IVF. But IVF could be banned too.
Do they think we're less than human?
Do they think we can't make decisions about our own bodies? About our own lives? When you vote, please think about me.
And me.
And me. Because the politician who got rid of Roe v. Wade, he couldn't care less.
You're watching News 3 Now at 5.
Welcome back. Some good news for car owners. Catalytic converter thefts have dropped 74%. That's according to findings from State Farm. It looked at data from the first half of this year and compared it to the same period from 2023. It found only 3,800 people claimed their catalytic converter was stolen. That number was previously 14,800, and the average claim is about $2,900. A recent report shows overall scam complaints are actually falling.
But one type of scam is on the rise. Christine Lazar explains.
Earlier this year, Susan Tompour received a text that sounded appealing. The person claimed to be a recruiter from a major employment site and was ready to offer her a work-from-home position that paid up to $1,000 a day.
When you get a text, somebody offering you a job, you feel like, oh, somebody likes you, somebody likes your work, they've noticed your talent.
However, Susan is a journalist at the Detroit Free Press and knew instantly the job offer was a scam. One major giveaway, the sender wanted to talk on the encrypted messaging platform, WhatsApp.
Everyday recruiters are not going to talk to you by an app. They aren't using messaging apps, where they can do some hiding. They're not going on Telegram or WhatsApp or Google Chat.
One of our biggest concerns is job scams.
Eva Velasquez is the CEO of the Identity Theft Resource Center and says reports of job scams to their organization have jumped 118% in 2023. And con artists are not only sending texts, they also post fake jobs on legitimate employment sites.
AI is a contributing factor because it's allowed the bad actors to refine their pitch to make it sound so much more legitimate.
The con often happens when a victim is told to fill out an application.
When applications are asking for things like your social security number, your bank account information, your passport or driver's license information, that's a huge red flag.
I know that the scammers, these are elaborate crime networks.
And to avoid those criminals, Susan followed the advice many experts recommend. Think twice before accepting an offer, especially if it sounds too good to be true. Christine Lazar, CBS News, Los Angeles.
And stay with us. We'll have a final check of your first warn forecast after a short break.
We know Wisconsin workers can get the job done.
But China has been taking our jobs.
For years, our government built America's infrastructure with Chinese iron and steel. I said that's got to change.
Tammy Baldwin wrote the law to make sure American projects are made with American iron and steel. Now we're getting more work in Wisconsin.
With Wisconsin workers.
Tammy Baldwin stood up to China and our government.
She got the job done.
I'm Tammy Baldwin. I approve this message.
Save big money on Pittsburgh paints and stains at Menards. Pittsburgh's Weather Screen is a water-repellent deck stain that protects wood while allowing its natural beauty to show through. A gallon starts at $27.98 after rebate. Complete your staining project with ultra-advanced semi-transparent stain. It's a stain and sealant in one that can be applied to damp wood, allowing you to clean and stain your project in one day. A gallon starts at $34.48 after 11% rebate.
Save big money at Menards.
3 years ago, I had an abortion of a desperately wanted and loved baby. Joan Ballwig wants to ban all abortion, with no exceptions. Not for rape or incest, not to save the mother's life. I know what it's like when women have to make these heartbreaking decisions. The very last person who should have anything to do with it is a politician like Joan Ballwig.
Think Sloan's first.
We've been with Sloan Implement since my father started farming, my grandfather started farming. They are a family business that's been around for generations, and that's very important to us.
Think Sloan first, now during Gear Up for Fall on a John Deere 1025R compact utility tractor. This just may be the workhorse you need to get those to-do projects on the to-done list. Get 1.9% for 84 months.
Think Sloan's first.
Okay, guys, we're all here because US Cellular has an incredible deal. Right now, you can get 4 lines for just $90.
Sorry, just double checking. Is it really that good of a deal?
Yeah. It's a huge deal. You also get 4 free phones of your choice.
4 free phones! Wow, I just triple checked, and that's awesome.
So go get that deal. Or at least help me clip. Did you check the expiration dates?
Oh, I can do that.
Great.
Get 4 free phones of your choice with no trade-in needed, plus 4 lines for $90.
I was a Kamala Harris supporter. That changed after an illegal alien murdered my son, running him over, then driving back and forth over Drew's body 3 times. The man who killed my son had been arrested previously, but Kamala Harris let him go. As San Francisco's DA, Kamala was soft on crime. As a senator, she supported releasing criminal aliens back into our neighborhoods. Kamala Harris is dangerous.
Preserve America PAC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Coming up on the CBS Evening News, an Alabama genealogist dedicating her life to connecting African-American families with their history. In tonight's Eye on America, how her legacy continues to live on in the work she did and the lives she touched. That and more headlines tonight on the CBS Evening News.
And coming up tonight at 6, while school is back in session for just about all students, others are seeing some UW campuses closing for good.
Love that story at 6. Alex, the final check of the forecast. We need like snow on Saturday for Alabama to throw them off, right?
Please.
I can try.
We're not getting that.
No, we're not going to get that. Maybe a couple of rain showers out there, but I think the better chances for rain showers are probably going to be over southwestern Wisconsin. So the chances of showers during the game, not very high. Good chances, though, we're going to see those temperatures in the upper 70s to near 80. Plenty of clouds out there, but you probably will still need the shades and the shorts and the short sleeve shirts. And then we've got the G-Days Parade, all MC at noon on Sunday in Jefferson. Nice temperatures and a slight chance of a shower.
All right. We're back in 30 minutes for News 3 Now at 6. Stay tuned now for the CBS Evening News.